Well, welcome back to this very powerful series on mindset. And I hope you've been just enjoying it as you consider and evaluate what mindsets that you're holding and how those mindsets might just be shaping your future. Because here's what I know: the predominant thoughts and beliefs and emotional state that you're holding on to is determining your current life, your finances, your relationships, the size of your body, your health. I know that, I know that, I know that. So I want to take it another level. I want to talk about another two mindsets. I love contrasting these. And that is the mindset between faith and circumstances. Faith and circumstances. Now, I like to use the definition of faith. The biblical definition of faith is found in Hebrews chapter 11 in verse 1. And it says, faith is the assurance. In fact, if you read the amplified version of the Bible, it says it's the title deed. I love that. It is that piece of paper that you hold that gives you ownership. Faith is the title deed of those things that you've been hoping for, the evidence of those things that you haven't seen. You see, the faith realm is not the five sensory realm. The faith realm doesn't have to do with what you can see, feel, touch, hear, smell. It has to do with that seed that gets planted of a thought, an idea that gets planted in your heart, is supported by the emotions, the feelings, and produces the result. That's what I mean by faith. It's believing in those things that you can't even see, but claiming it as your title deed. That's the faith side of things. Circumstance is just the opposite. It is your five senses. It is what's going on right now. What symptom are you feeling in your body? That's your reality. What amount is the balance in your checking account? That's your reality. You know, what size are you putting on in your clothes? That's your reality. What's your status? Are you single? Are you married? Are you divorced? That's your reality. It's looking again at the external, at the circumstances. Now I'm going to tell you that whatever you focus on expands. And I once heard it described by a man very powerfully. He described the faith and the circumstance arena as a battle with the devil. And he put the two boxing arenas. And he said, in one arena, you've got the faith arena, and the other arena, you've got the circumstances arena. He says, if you get the devil into the faith arena, you've already won. But if you step into the circumstance arena, he's already won. I'm going to encourage you. How do you develop the faith? Well, you dig deep in your heart and you find those things that God has planted in your heart. I know He's given you promises. I know that some of you have gone into scripture or whatever is where you find your faith, and you've gone in there and you've found those promises. Faith is holding on to those until you see them fully manifested in your life. It's writing them in your journal. It's speaking them in your affirmations. It's visualizing them. It's putting them on your dream board. And it is like locking on like a dog to a bone that you're not letting go of that promise until you see its full fulfillment. You see a lot of that in scripture. You see the story of Abraham and Sarah. You see, faith was the promise that God told him that he would be a father of nations. Circumstances was that he was 100 years old, and I don't think his sperm count was real active at that time. I don't think they were swimming real fast. You know what I'm talking about? For Sarah, faith was the promise that she would be a mother of nations. Circumstance was the fact that she'd been past menopause, not a year or 2 years, try 50 years past menopause. Do you see how they could have gotten hung up in their circumstances and decided what's impossible and already written off the future that God promised? I'm going to ask you, what has God promised you? What desires are you holding in your heart? Because I believe desires are of the Father. What's been promised to you? What's been prophesied over you? What do you know that you know that you know deep inside of yourself that perhaps you've let circumstances take you off course? And I'm going to encourage you to jump back into that faith arena, grab a hold of that title deed, and you work that faith and develop that faith and stay in that faith until you see it manifested in your life. All right, I look forward to having you in the final video in these series of video number 5. I think you're going to enjoy this. It's some recent insight. I really felt it was a download from God in terms of mindset about how we view our life and where is our focus. Is it past? Is it future? Is it present? Can't wait to share with you this insight in video number 5.